Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. I am your host, Mike, and today we are back with the solution. The ladies of the solution. A multi-daters marriage material. Guys, remember, looking for 600 subscribers? I think we can do it this month. Let's go ahead and get it. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure all your notifications are turned to the on position and like the video. Let's go ahead and holy moly, I ain't got no sound. We need some sound in this piece. While we're waiting on me to get this sound together, make sure you guys are liking the video, making sure you're subscribing. I know I just said that, but it's important enough for me to say it twice. So let's go ahead and get going here.
Requirement, for me at least, for it to be communicated that you're multi-dating. I think at this point in 2022, of understanding what dating culture is like, and just operate under the assumption that that is exactly what you're doing unless communicated otherwise. I don't need you to put that out there. It happens so regularly that that's just kind of the default mode right now. However, it does show your character if you're able to communicate that in a way where it's coming out of transparency, or if it's coming out of a, okay, well, now you're in competition with X amount of people. Like, how you communicate, if you choose to communicate that you're dating, starts to reveal a little bit about who you are. But for me, it's not, you don't have to say it, but how you say it and what you say is telling about who you are, good or bad.
Are multi-daters marriage material, ladies? And when I say multi-daters, I do mean people who date more than one person at a time. We can start off with Miss Taken.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and get no, no, you're not. Reason being is because when you get used to that lifestyle, it's hard to cut. It's hard to cut back to just one, because in the back of your mind, you're always thinking about, well, it's other fish in the sea. Marriage is not like that. Once you're in, you're supposed to be in for life. But if you have in your back of your head that as soon as this person screws up, I'm just going to go find somebody else, you're never going to try and make it work. But that's just my opinion. These might have something different. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would say yes, but it depends on how you move. I think if you're in the early stages of like just meeting somebody, then I think you need to be honest about the fact that, right now, we're trying to get to know each other, and, I'm single, I'm out, I'm meeting other people, things like that.
I always say this: you get to know somebody over the phone. Going out and going on dates is about you seeing how that person behaves in public. Because again, if you get to know them over the phone, well, what are we going on a date for? So that's why I don't believe in dating multiple people. Again, we're going to get to know somebody. You just talking on the phone. Yeah, you need to be talking to a bunch of people. Get to know a lot of people. That's what networking is all about. You getting to know people. The people who you think might be long-term options for marriage, those are the people that you want to go on dates with. But vetting somebody for that is something that let's I'll save it for the end.
So I do think it's okay, but I don't necessarily think that you should have like a harem of dudes that you're just cycling through. So if it's like, maybe you've found two guys that you're that you're interested in, and you're dating to try to get to see, there's an attraction there for both, but you're trying to get to know each one to determine which one you may be more compatible with. And then once you narrow that down, then I do think you can go ahead and give your focus to that one person if he's made it clear that that both of you guys are on the same page about wanting to date with intention. And then I think that that's fine.
Okay.
Again, what are you learning in public in an event or wherever you're going on dates? What are you learning there that you can't learn over the phone while talking to them? Body language, maybe, but if you knew enough about them, if you got to know that person over the phone, would their body language even matter if you were disqualifying them just based off phone conversations? Like, what difference does that make? I don't know.
Okay, so it's safe to say that as long as you have that conversation with the person and let them know up front, this is what I'm doing, that's cool.
Right, exactly. Because if
Okay.
you're dating with intention, you want to be clear that my purpose in dating is, with intention. I'm looking for a monogamous relationship, but right now I'm getting to know people to see who I'm compatible with. And I
Okay.
think that's fine.
All
Some
right.
dudes want you to be exclusive straight up and you don't even know them. So no. Mm-mm.
Chan, if you want to answer now, you can. I know you
What
missed the
was the question?
question.
I did. What's the
I
question?
was okay, so I was gonna say you can hop in now, or you can wait until the other lady speak, however you want to do it.
Oh,
But
let
the
me let
question
them
is
speak and then I'll give mine. I'm sorry. I just woke up.
okay.
My brain is kind of
No, you're good. You're good. The question was, are multi-daters relate? I'm sorry, marriage material. So are you able to date multiple people?
okay.
Are they marriage material? Yeah. All
Okay.
right, but go ahead, Pretty Hustle.
That's a good question. So to piggyback off Miss Taken, I agree. When she mentioned that as long as you all communicate that, like, hey, we're dating, you're both trying to see what's out there, find someone who's compatible with you. What I take is for me, dating is just what it is. Dating. Until you draw the line and say, hey,
What the? I'm sitting here tripping because I got because I have daughters, and I was randomly just hearing this music playing. I'm like, is one of their toys in here or something? It's just going off. It's in the video. Stuff was driving me crazy. I'm like, I'm low key just trying to find stuff around on my desk here, and I'm like, man, this is crazy because I'm sitting here and they got me tripping. And this in the video. Cut that out right quick. Okay, let's go, man.
we're just going to be committed to each other. And like she said, dating with intention, I feel like you are free to date and get to know
What is Shan doing? She's looking all around the room. I wonder what's going on over there.
other people. See, I feel like that's where people mess up a lot. As soon as they meet someone, they try to tie themselves down quick without knowing what that other person wants to do. So that's where
What? Okay. It's just like spacing out over there.
you get that situation where one person wants to be in a committed relationship, another person like, hey, you're moving too fast because you came in without the communication. Since we're talking your mind, but if you were dating, which is what it's called, you understand that you can get to know people. That doesn't mean you have to sleep with them, but you can go on dates. They can court you. Y'all can go on lunch, go to do different things together because that's all a part of the process of getting to know a person. Trial and error, just hey, that way you could get to kind of see what one person, how you feel about when you're doing things with them. You might say, I'm not feeling them. And then you got this other person where it's like, everything I like, they're checking off on. So then you can make that decision like, okay, I'm really feeling you. And then make sure that they feel the same about you as well.
There's one thing. We've only had 2 ladies respond, and there's a big key factor that no one is talking about. We still got a couple more ladies to go. Let's see
but
if
it's kind
anyone
of like
bring
when
it
you put all
up.
your eggs in one basket. That's when you find yourself fumbling, because you put yourself all in and they're not doing the same. So I feel like clear communication is what's needed in dating. So long as you communicate that with the person, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Stop it.
Could I add one more thing to that? Because I know a lot of times guys get it twisted and think that dating automatically equates to sex. So those are 2 different things.
That
I
part.
think
Yes, I'm so glad you clarified that.
dating to know you doesn't mean getting to know how you are in the bed. You know
That
what I'm saying?
And as I said, you don't need to go on dates to get to know a woman. You don't. If a woman is actually interested in you, she will get to know you over the phone if you're leading with that. But, hey, it kind of hints at what I wanted to talk about, but Yeah.
saying, I'm getting to know you as a person. Sex isn't even on the table at this point when we're talking about getting to know somebody to see if we are compatible enough to be exclusive. But guys hear the word date and that automatically equates to sex. And for women it's not that. Maybe for them it is, but for women it's not.
I wholeheartedly agree with that part that dating does not equate to sex at all.
Of course it doesn't.
But I might be the odd one out on this. It's not a requirement for me at least for it to be communicated that you're multi-dating. I think at this point in 2022 of understanding what dating culture is like, I just operate under the assumption that that is exactly what you're doing unless communicated otherwise. I don't need you to put that out there. It happens so regularly that that's just kind of the default mode right now. However, it does show your character if you're able to communicate that in a way where it's coming out of transparency, or if it's coming out of a, okay, well, now you know you're in competition with X amount of people. Like how you communicate, if you choose to communicate that you're dating, starts to reveal a little bit about who you are. But for me, it's not, you don't have to say it, but how you say it and what you say is telling about who you are, good or bad.
All right, Shan, you want to weigh in on that?
I'm sure. As I okay, so a lot of what I've heard thus far is correct, and I want to emphasize that when you're so what has happened is a few people have started dating, and dating has become about sexual activity in opposed to true dating. So if you're dating with intent and you have communicated on the first day of date or the time that you guys are talking, because that's the time to talk to say these things, that you are only trying to date with intent. um I think that it's okay, like you guys are saying, to I wouldn't say date, but talk to people, get to know people. And that's kind of tricky as well, because you don't want to date too many people, because I think about when I see a man who's dated so many people and then he dates people that I've known, I'm like, that's a bit much too. But but if you are dating responsibly, like not just being picky with your dates, that's what I'm saying. Not giving everybody your energy, really vetting them out, and not going on a date with everybody you meet, but only people you have selected. Like this could be, I'm kind of with the guys that says don't just go on a date for the meal. Some women are going on a date for meals. No, no,
Foodies. Foodie calls. Foodie calls. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's called.
no. You have to, there's something, a spark there through the telephone conversation, and you're talking to people. Okay, I like this. I could like this guy. Let's go meet for coffee. And then if it keeps, you keep, and at some point,
Was that an eye roll? Courage for life? Let's go back and look at that again.
this guy, let's go meet for coffee. And then if it keeps, you
Nah,
keep,
she looked like
and
she's
at
just
some
watching something in the
point,
background.
if you start liking him, that's also a time to have a conversation. Like, I'm digging you. And again, sex should not even be in a question. I wish women would just close their legs. Oh, Jesus. Because we wouldn't have to keep saying that. But and then you moving forward. And then I think that's time to communicate, because communicating early on is just as effective and good for the relationship as communicating later in the relationship. It's like setting up communication early on. And so if you're communicating these things, and he's on the same page, you guys are on the same page, it's a good thing, right? But going back to the original question, should you be a multi-dater if you date responsibly?
Are you okay? Yeah. So is that marriage material?
Listen, if she's dating responsibly, if she's a picky dater, yes. If she's just out here dating people, no. No, absolutely. Because she's not even picky about, what that's just too much. No, 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 no. But if you're a responsible, picky dater, like you're doing it with a purpose, then I think that that's okay.
Oh, wow. Well, they responded like I would expect women to. Because again, all the burden of performance is put on the men. So I find it very interesting that, yeah, again, I told you guys my opinion. You can get to know somebody over the phone. You don't need to go on dates to do that. Just think about it. What are you going to learn from being with them in person that you couldn't learn over the phone in the beginning? Now, true enough, we want to have a good time. We want to do some shared experiences. I get that, right? Nobody's ruling that out. But I'm going to get to know you over the phone first to make sure that you're actually even worth my meat, my money, energy, attention, and time. See, I don't use, because I'm not going to waste resources on trying to get to know you. And then I used to think about the coffee dates that Shan Monet was talking about, but ultimately that becomes a time waster as well, because again, it's easier. You know what? Ultimately, what are we gaining from that scenario? I just have a hard time, because if we're going to get ghosted, let me stay at home and get ghosted versus me going out somewhere, sitting around waiting for you to show up. You just not answer my phone calls. Okay, well, I'm talking to, I've got 4 or 5 other women that I'm currently in the talking phase with anyway. So if if I hadn't heard from you in 2 weeks, no big deal. You're gone. But if we're on dates, that means I'm starting to invest in you. That's going to be an issue, because I can't get that time back. I can't get those resources back. You see where I'm going with this? For women, it's not that important, because, again, we're expecting men to pay for these things. Again, the burden of performance is on us. So why am I going to waste my resources on you? And most women are never going to talk about that, because most women think they're special. So he should want to take me out on dates. No, he should want to get to know you. And again, where I agree with Shan is the fact that, when you have women who are dating multiple guys, yeah, they're probably not marriage material. I'm 100%, I believe in dating with a purpose. But again, who are you going on the dates with? If you're trying to date a complete stranger, that wall is too high to try and climb, to try and make it over. There's too much expectation there. There's too much there's too much pressure to get to know somebody within the confines of this date. Whereas is that if we've had several phone conversations, we can allow the conversation to develop over time. We can allow the connection to develop over time. Because again, you rule out a lot of the guys who are just trying to, number one, you can bring up your intentions in the beginning on a phone call a lot easier than you can on a date. Because again, there is that obligation. They mention it about how guys equate dating to sex. Yeah, we do, because it sounds like open prostitution, but realistically, okay, if I take you, and most guys are thinking that if I take you enough places and spend enough time and attention on you, we're going to have sex, and most women would agree that it doesn't work like that. Like but this is mainly to protect. It's going to protect both parties if we're doing it this way. If we're getting to know each other over the phone, number one, because the guy holds back his resources except for attention, right? Which you guys are giving to each other, which is an equal exchange. The women are saying that, okay, the women who get the chance to get to know that guy over the phone, you get to have conversations that are not going to be distracted by physical appearance. Because a lot of guys, yeah, they see you in the outfit and you look, you looking fine and everything else. And all of a sudden his brain goes to mush and you start getting the pre-recorded responses. He starts answering yes to everything because he's trying to sleep with you. But it's hard to do that over the phone conversation. You can actually ask some intimate questions and get to understand how each other thinks. Because I guarantee you, it's much easier to build a rapport over time if you're less concerned about the distractions that come with dating. Just my opinion, though. But what do I know? I'm just a married man here on YouTube talking about relationships, mostly covering content was full of people that actually want to get married. What do I know? But look, guys, this has been a great conversation, a high-level conversation, because again, this is also, believe it or not, this is also part of the gender war. Because if it would have been some guys on this panel, yeah, they'd have been doing this right here. Or no, we should. We're not trying to have them arguments, right? What we do need is, this is a high level conversation because we get to understand how women think, what women think about dating with a purpose. And you notice that the biggest takeaway was, well, just because we're dating doesn't mean we're having sex. In your mind, it might not. Most guys don't think like that, though. But hey, we're going to end it here. And I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.